We haven't done one of these in a while, but let's go ahead and open up a box of Raging Flames Against Emerald Storm Booster Pack 07 for Overdress. We have here the beautiful sneak peek mat. This is the Blitz Secretary Perfect, which is very pretty. Mat is actually very nice. I like it very much. But we got ourselves the box here. It is quite an interesting box. I feel like set 6 was really good, and it kind of like shook things up a lot within, you know, stuff that was in the set, and also in combination with the trial decks. Set 7 should have done the same thing, just because it has support for just about everything. You know, Flagberg gets good support, Barrow gets good support here, Magnolia gets good support here, as well as all the other things, right? But I don't know, I just feel like it was... I think it just fell in between two amazing sets, whereas Set 6 was really good. Set 6? Yeah, that's what I said. I didn't say Set 6. Set 6 was really good, and then Set 8 was really good and highly anticipated, where this one was just kind of the awkward in-between child. Nonetheless, let's go ahead and open it up. It's, I think, the first time for a main set, so not the... I actually have the box right next to me. Triumph Return of the Brave Heroes. This was the first box for Overdress that did not have, you know, Yu on it. And then this is the first one that is from like the anime, because this was like sort of a side set, quote unquote. Not really, but it didn't focus on the anime. It focused on, you know, the encounters and the Craycross Epic cards, which is gonna be the same for set 8. But this is actually main, you know, all around the cards that are in the anime, but it doesn't have Yu on it only. It has actually another character. And I think in set 9, we just don't have Yu, which is groundbreaking and amazing stuff. But let's go ahead and open this up. We actually get these really cute little like note cards inside of each of them, which is kind of funny. I skipped over doing an opening for Lyrical 3. I might end up doing that maybe in like January, just for the sake of it, because I just didn't have the time when the set actually came out. But they gave us these little, actually have those nearby also. I got all the supplies near me. They gave us these little custom markers within every pack. Might be a little hard to see because it's so white. And it kind of reminds me of that. Let's see if we can get that focused in a little bit. There you go. It's just this little thin piece of paper that you can do whatever you want on it. You can't use it in official tournaments. But it was just to compensate for the NFT that was in the LSR packs. So you can't like weigh out the packs. So it kind of reminds me of this. This seems a little bit more useful. Kind of sucks that it only has Yu and Michiru on it. There's 2 different designs for each character, so there's 4 of these in total. But in any case, that is it for the box toppers. We also have 2 different designs for the packs. So you can see here, you can get the Yu or the Michiru, just like it is on the box, which is pretty cool. The pack designs are pretty cool. Overall, the set is pretty nifty, and let's just get open. I'm pretty excited about this because this is actually gonna either come out on my birthday or after my birthday, around my birthday, depending on what I end up doing at my actual birthday if I have the time for it. So let's just get into this. Yeah, set 7 was pretty interesting. Just about every single ride deck outside of, or every single deck, I should just say, aside from like obviously Collab and Lyrical, got support here in some way or another, except for I guess like Greedon is just about the only one that didn't, but they did get support last set. Anyways, this is Knight of Piercing Sky Scofinza. Here, if you have 3 or more grade 3 or greater units, you can retire this. Choose one of your opponent's rear guards and put it on the bottom of their deck. Don't know how great that's going to be because it's a grade 2. Then we got ourselves Drag Ritter Mid-Hat here. When your unit stands by your card's ability, retire this unit and draw a card. I feel like this might be kind of playable in Overlord, where you can put it behind Overlord, boost the end, so you can get yourself a nice hefty 26k attack. Then you can retire this, draw a card, and then discard for the promo, and then play the promo behind Overlord and boost with that. But it doesn't have to be, I guess, specifically there, but just a thought. Then we have ourselves Steam Fighter Zistra. Here, when this unit is placed on regular circle from Soul Blast 1, and this unit gets 10k until the end of the turn. Kind of interesting. Too bad the only thing that places stuff from Soul natively is Barrow, and Barrow doesn't really need something like this, but might see some use in the future, who knows. Then we got ourselves Steam Shooter, Poon Nam. During your turn, if your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, this unit gets 5k. I feel like you'd rather just play the Dreg Jeweled grade 1, but then we got ourselves Beautiful Bullets of Duststorm Jody here. If you have a Vanguard with Eugene in its card name, Soul Blast 1, choose a grade 2 or less unit other than a Sentinel from your drop and put it on the top of your deck. This is a pretty interesting card for Eugene. Has a lot of interesting applications because you could just put about almost anything on top of your deck and then use Eugene's skill to then call that thing out. So pretty cool. Then we got ourselves a Sylvanhorn Beast Tigralata. Tigralat. Whatever. Front row rearguard circle when this unit, or when another unit in the same column as this unit attacks, this unit gets 10k until the end of that battle. Until the end of that battle? Wait, what? I think that's supposed to be until the end of turn. Or maybe they mean the end of the battle phase? But yeah, that wouldn't make sense. Why would I get 10k when another unit attacks until the end of that unit's attack? Well, yeah, that seems like a misprint typo. And our last card here is a rare. This is Demonic Stone Dragon Matelavara. When this unit is placed on rearguard circle, counterblast 1. Choose a card from your drop and put it into your soul. And then if your soul has 4 more cards with different grades, the unit gets 10k to the end of the turn. I've been looking into cards like this for Barrow, just because I feel like Barrow is going to be extremely powerful when we can use our drop to put cards into soul. If we can do some sort of combination of using our soul, or sorry, drop to fill up our soul, and some sort of selective soul charging from deck to thin it out and, you know, just hit crits and PGs and stuff, Barrow's being a really good spot. But all this stuff having counterblast makes it really tricky. Next up, we've got ourselves Gallant Flare Dragon here. This says counterblast 1, put this into the soul. Choose one of your Vanguards and it gets the auto ability on Vanguard Circle. When it hits a Vanguard, draw a card and countercharge 1 until the end of the turn. This card's kind of dumb, unless it's something that can hit a Vanguard twice, because of the fact that it's not once per turn, so you can technically countercharge effectively, right? Because you have to, you know, counterblast 1, so you just refund the cost, but if you hit twice, you actually get a countercharge and you draw 2. But getting your Vanguard to hit a Vanguard twice is a lot to ask for. Then we got ourselves Magna Reversal Breaker here. Play a sword with counterblast 1 if you have a Vanguard of Bell Magus in its card name. So charge 3. Choose one of your Vanguards and it gets the continuous ability, Vanguard on Vanguard Circle. If your soul has 10 or more cards, all your front row units get 5k until the end of the turn. I wish that was 10k, that would be insane. Imagine a Persona ride, your next attacks get 30k, crazy. But yeah, this is for Barrow Magus. I am very sad that this did not get an FR in this set. Regretfully, I would have loved to see this because I really love the art of it, but maybe some other day in the future we'll get some blinked out version of it. We got Knight of Gale, Sinblurg. During your turn, if your opponent has your opponent's Vanguard's grade 3 or greater, this unit gets 5k attack. So it is similar to how the other sets, every nation just gets one generic effect for, you know, one card, one common that just has the same effect across every nation. This is the one for this set where if your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, this grade 1 gets extra power. This is the girl we just saw. Then we got ourselves Consort Strike, Brave Shooter. So this in back row center. When your rearguard attacks, if it is the first battle of that turn, this unit gets 5k until the end of the turn. I don't understand the purpose of this card, because presumably, judging from the fact that it's a shooter, you want to play in Flakberg, but it's 7k, and there are 2 other cards that you would much rather have in the back row rearguard circle. In Magnolia, I don't think this is very useful either, but who knows. Then we got ourselves here Sympathize Decibel. You can play this with counterblast 1, draw a card. Choose a card from your hand and call it to rearguard circle, or discard it. If you call the card until the end of the turn, that called unit cannot attack and it gets 10k. So this has maybe some applications in like Zorga, not so much in Magnolia, maybe not really in Aurora, but you know, it's an interesting card. Obviously it's mainly for Leonhorn. Then we got ourselves a double rare here in the Heavenly Wings of Purity, a Honete Honetaria. When this unit is placed on rearguard circle, if you have a Vanguard of bats in its card name, you can counterblast 1, choose up to 1 grade 3 card from your hand, call it to rearguard circle. And if you call the card and you have 5 or more units, you draw a card. So it's very similar to what Sukia has, and basically a melting, right, from Lyrical. And then during your turn, if you have 6 or more units, this unit gets boost. So very interested to see how this card plays out. In general, I feel like this pack might be, this set might be a little bit smaller than the other ones. I'll have to see, because I feel like there's a lot of cards whenever I open boxes for it that I just see repeatedly, but it just doesn't feel like there's a lot of cards. Anyways, Knight of Demolition Maridu here. When this unit attacks, when this unit's attack hits a Vanguard, choose one of your rear guards, put it on the bottom of your opponent's rear guards, and put it on the bottom of their deck. So this isn't actually horrible, it's a common. You can easily bot deck something for free if you can hit Vanguard. Then we got ourselves a double rare here in the Blitz Mechanic Iskra here. If you did not operate a product this turn, you can counterblast 1, rest this unit, choose a product from your order zone, and operate it. This is obviously for Blitz CEO Welstra. Speaking of which, here is Blitz Engineer Halfleo. When this unit is placed on rearguard circle, if you did not operate a product this turn, you can counterblast 1, soul blast 1, choose a product from your order zone, and operate it. And also, if you operated something, this guy gets 5k. Unfortunately, he is 8k. But I think that's like the main card that you want to use for Welstra. We'll talk about him when we pull him, if we do. Speaking of Welstra, here we've got Blitz Top Sails and Rig. If you have a Vanguard with Welstra in its card name, you can retire this unit, search your deck for up to 1 Heavy Strike Cannon Fortress Freischutz or Mobile Fortress of Obliteration Freischutz. Maximum, reveal it, put it into your hand, and if you search your deck, shuffle your deck. Then we got ourselves the ride line here, Blitz Technology Researcher Uber. So on Vanguard circle, once per turn, you can soul blast 1, choose a product from your order zone, and operate it. That's basically the main mechanic for Blitz, is you put stuff in your order zone and then you can operate them, which activates a specific skill based on the order. Then when this unit is rolled upon, you can put a product from your order zone into your drop, search your deck or hand for up to 1 grade 2 product card, put it into your order zone, and if you search your deck, shuffle your deck, and if you put it from your hand, draw a card. Interesting that this says when rolled upon doesn't specify. That has to be from Welstra or CEO with Blitz or anything like that. So you can actually maybe use this in another deck. Maybe have some sort of weird Blitz hybrid deck, who knows? That's just mid-hat here, and then we've got ourselves the grade 0, or the starter for Blitz, which is Blitz Mechanic Wharton here. Pretty cool. Then we got ourselves a new Blaze Maiden here, Blaze Maiden Sienna. When this unit attacks a Vanguard, if you have a Vanguard with 2 or more original dresses, rear guard with 2 or more original dress, this unit gets 10k to the end of that battle. So it's not half bad. I don't think any of the Nirvana decks have the space for her, but hey. Then we got ourselves Spinning Knight Gwendolyn. During the battle, this unit attack, if you persona roll this turn, this unit gets 5k, and if your opponent would call cards to guard from hand, they have to do 2 or more. We got ourselves a nice little guard restrict in Bastion, and also this set gives us reprints of the effect triggers, all 3 of them for each nation, and unlike the Japanese version or the Japanese release, we actually get 2 per box. So this is our first one, which is the Patrol Robo Deck Choke-Up. Pretty cool. Speaking of Blitz CEO Welstra, or just Blitz in general, we've got ourselves Heavy Strike Cannon Fortress Freischutz. Sorry if I'm butchering that, which I'm pretty sure I am. So this has an operate ability. When it's in the order zone and this card is operated, you choose one of your opponent's front or rear guards and retire it. If you did not retire a card, choose one of your opponent's vanguards and it gets minus 5k attack to the end of that turn. Then in your order zone, when your grade 3 or greater Vanguard is placed by writing from a grade 3, put this card into your drop. Search your deck for up to your deck or hand for up to 1 Mobile Fortress of Obliteration Freischutz. Maximum, put that into your order zone, and if you search your deck, shuffle, and if you put it from your hand, draw a card. We've already seen this guy. Then we got ourselves the grade 1 product. Incandescent Flame Cannon Absol. Absahol? Abhustle. So it says the operated ability: when this card is operated, choose one of your opponent's front row rear guards and retire. And if you do not retire, draw a card. Choose a card from your hand and discard it. Then we got ourselves the 4-stall Arrow Dragon. When this unit is placed on guard in circle, if your Vanguard is being attacked, Counterblast 1. This unit gets 5k shield to the end of that battle for every 2 units on your Vanguard circle and rearguard circle. So this at best becomes like, I guess, 15k shield or something like that. Sure. Then we got ourselves Demonic Jewel Dragon Rystel Gaoler. When this unit attacks a Vanguard, if you Soul Blasted 4 or more cards for at the same time for the cost of your Vanguard's ability this turn, put a card from your hand into the soul, draw a card, choose one of your opponent's rear guards, and retire it. That's okay, I guess. I am going to try and build a lot of the decks from this set. I know I said that, I think, for set 6, and I started doing that, but then things got really busy, and then BCS happened, Deer Days happened, all that stuff. But I think January is going to be a lot more calmer, so I'll be able to do a lot of these, even if it's just covering them quickly, like we did some of the Shaman deck, Shaman King stuff. I was trying to say Shaman decks, and then I almost accidentally said Shaman dicks. But anyways, Gravidia Almanon. When you attack, Soul Blast 1, discard a card from your hand. Choose a Meteorite card from your drop, put it into your hand. As your unit gets 5k at the end of that battle. Seems pretty pointless because you want them in your drop for Book of Burrito. Billow Assault. This unit boosted, or when you attack that this unit boosted hits, if you have a Flagberg Vanguard, I'm going to say Flag Guard, in its card name, you can stand this unit. Then we got ourselves the Steady Spiky. You might think at first glance this is Barrel Magus support, but this says when this unit is placed from rearguard circle from your hand, or placed on rearguard circle from your hand, Counterblast 1, put a grade 0 from your hand to soul, choose a grade 1 from your soul, and put it into your hand. So this is seemingly looks like you trade a grade 0 for a PG, but there is actually a new Vanguard in this set. It's just a grade 3 Vanguard, doesn't have a ride line, that actually makes use of having grade 0s in your soul. Let's see. Next up, we've got Knight of Heavenly Echoes, Sonitea. At the end of the battle, this unit boosted a Vanguard with Bastion in its card name. If your battle drive check cannot reveal a grade 3, Counterblast 1, retire this unit, choose one of your rear guards, and stand it. So, in theory, this is supposed to be a backup for when you, have drive checks and don't hit grade 3s to restand, but one of the reasons you probably didn't hit those grade 3s is because you're playing grade 1s in your deck. Dual Electros Dragon here is the Dragon Empire version of if your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, this grade 1 gets 5k. Then we got ourselves Blitz Programmer Strasser here, which is the grade 1 of the ride line. When you roll upon, search your deck for up to 1 grade 1 product card, put it into your order zone, and if you searched your deck, shuffle it, and if you put it from a hand, draw 1 card. And then we got ourselves Archaeology Scholar Anti-Eleator. Basically, just trying to get away with saying Anteater. When this unit is placed on rearguard circle, Soul Blast 2. Choose one of your other units in the same column as this unit. Again, it gets 10k to the end of the turn. Not sure of the applications of this. This card is pretty interesting. Here we got Reaper in Shadows Zelamort. You can Counterblast 1, put this into the soul, choose, or rather look at 2 cards from the top of your deck, and then you choose one from among them, up to 1. So you can call, or choose none, but you call to rearguard circle and put the rest into your deck. Soul, geez, man. could have fucked up every single line there. So this is pretty interesting because you can technically soul charge 3 without actually soul charging, so it doesn't activate a Mandine. You do have to Counterblast 1 and lose a card on circle, but it is also selective soul charge, so it's pretty interesting. Roaring Cannon Dragon Salvarex. During your turn, this unit gets 10k, and if your opponent's front row has a rear guard, this unit cannot attack Vanguard. So you want to have no units for this guy to come in with 23k. Not sure if that's worth it. If it was maybe 15k, might actually be pretty decent. We got Blitz Secretary Watchton here, who says when you guard with this, if you have a product in your order zone, this guy gets 5k to the end of the battle. So he's a 10k shield. We got ourselves Float Assault. When this unit's attack hits, if you have a Vanguard with Flagberg in its card name, you can stand this unit. So this is supposed to be kind of like a cheap version of Ascendant Assault. The only problem is that it has to hit. So if your opponent decides to guard that, there goes your whole turn. We got Knight of Fidelity Alfonso here. This, when you guard with this, if your back row has 2 or more grade 1 or less rear guards, you can soul charge 1. So you can actually use this in Leonard, but you can also actually use this in Aurora if you have your 2 tokens in the back. And Aurora suffers from not having soul, so that's kind of an interesting option. Then we got ourselves the Maximum here. Molo Fortress of Obliteration, Frey Schultz Maximum. So you cannot play this card. And when it's operated from your order zone, when this unit is operated, choose one of your opponent's rear guards, retire it. Choose one of your opponent's vanguards and it gets -5k to the end of turn. Then you can counterblast 1, return a rear guard to your hand, call this card as a 23k attack unit with 1 critical to an open rear guard circle. And if you did call it, put it back into your order zone at the end of the turn. So it's a pretty cool mechanic, but it is pretty not well implemented in its first wave of support. They actually are going to reveal some support for this card in sets 9 that will hopefully fix this, but we'll see. Divine Sister Languidechat. If you have a grade 3 or greater card in your soul, this unit gets boost and 5k. This card is going to be really good in Thegria, I hope, because you get a grade 2 that can attack and boost for 5k or 15k. Ferocious Hunter. When this unit attack hits a Vanguard, choose one of your rear guards and it gets 5k to the end of turn. So this is like a sort of retrain, worse version of anything, of good old Admantis from set 1. Next up, we've got Inhale Pit. Soul Blast a grade 1 or greater card from your soul and choose 2 grade 0s from your drop. Put them into your soul. So part of that that new grade 3 Vanguard I was telling you guys about. This is the guy that on hits. That's the girl that gets 5k, but it's 7k. Then we got the Ballin Verena card here. Sorrow Severing Twin Blades. Play this with Candleboss 2. Choose one of your rear guards with original dress and it gets +1 critical to the end of the turn. CB2 in any Verena deck sounds like too much. Then we got ourselves here Sylvanhorn Beast Serial. When this unit is placed on rear guard circle from deck or hand, if you have a Vanguard with Sylvanhorn Beast in its card name, Soul Blast 1, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, choose up to 1 card with Magnolia in its card name from among them, reveal it and put it into your hand and shuffle your deck. So this is amazing for grade 3 or grade 4 Magnolia, because you can search it out. It's really good for grade 3 Magnolia, because if you have a Vanguard, grade 3 Vanguard with Magnolia in its card name, if you Persona Ride, also give the Persona Ride power to the back row units. So you get an amazing back row boost if you Persona Ride, because this gives your back row 10k, and a Magnolia at Counterblast 1 can give 3 units 5k. Ability to attack from the back row, ideally, ideally you do all your 3 back row units and they get +15 for that turn. So that's pretty cool. Silent Sorrow Dragon. If your other regard was retired by card ability this turn, this unit gets 10k. Activate your opponent's turn also. Not bad. We got the grade 1 girl. We got ourselves Jody, another Inhale Pit, Flare Dragon here. Then this is the other card that I was talking about that fights for the back row center for Flagberg. During your 5th or more battle this turn, the cost of all original auto abilities of your Vanguard with Flagberg in its card name are reduced by Candleboss 1. So you can use Flagberg's skill for free, which for a deck that is all about maintaining resources is pretty good. Then we got ourselves, I think, our first triple rare. of this whole box here is the Stealth Beast Silent Crow. When this unit is placed on Rearguard Circle by a card ability, this unit gets 5k until the end of the battle. Then, when your opponent's rearguard in the same column as this is retired by a card ability, counterblast 1 and draw a card. So it's kind of like a generic card. You can technically use this in Tamura because it is self, but interesting card. Knight of Shredding Theophis. If your Vanguard with 2 critical or greater attacks, so blast until the end of the turn, this unit and that unit and this unit get 5k. I thought it was only itself. So that's kind of interesting. It's interesting for PBO. You can give its 5k and also get a 15k attacker. Got Erosion Demon Monster, Nauthigalbus. Stupidly, I think this is going to get errata to say mutant instead of monster, which is kind of lazy that they didn't fix this because they announced the errata beforehand, but I might be wrong, but we'll see. When this unit attacks, when its unit's monster hits a Vanguard, if your order zone has 2 or more cards, you may draw a card. If you drew a card, choose a card from your hand and put it into your soul. Maybe it's right, because basically there's a card in set 8 that uses either monster or mutant cards, and we have a bunch of cards that were printed as either monster or mutant, and they're going to be errata. So instead of saying either monster or mutant, say the opposite one. So maybe this is the right one. Maybe everything says mutant and it should actually be monster, but that's the guy that restands. Flare Dragon, Blitz Starter. Ooh, we got ourselves an FR here for the Blitz Mechanic Iskra. Very pretty. We're actually going to get ourselves a double rare here in the Falket Performer. When this unit boosts, choose up to 1 card from your drop. If your soul does not have a card with the same grade as that card, put it into your soul. I feel like this is going to be pretty useful in most Dark States decks, and also looks pretty cool. These next packs better have something, because this one here only has 2 new cards, and spoiler alert, none of them is above a rare. But we have here Overwatching Monster Proteid. When your other rearguard is retired during your opponent's turn, bind this unit and put that retired card into your hand. Might be useful in something like Eva, maybe? Graceful Heavenly Flash Hermona here. So back row center rearguard circle. When your Vanguard with Bastion in its card name is attacked, Soul Blast 1, move this unit to Garden Circle and it gets 15k shield to the end of that battle. So you can use her to boost Bastion and then use it to guard Bastion. Not bad, but yeah, everything else is stuff that we've already seen. Really hoping we get something good in this pack. Crushing Equip Dragon Keltiogard. When this card becomes an original address, if your soul has no cards, soul charge 2. So this is for Verena because it's a prayer dragon. The next up we've got ourselves Knight of Emily Ain. When its unit is retired from Vanguard or rearguard circle by a card's ability, if your hand has 3 or less cards, draw a card. Cool. We got ourselves the Agogik Dragon. If you have a Vanguard with Leonore in its card name, all of your other rearguards in the same column as this get boost. I always thought this might be kind of useful, especially with stuff like Rena Bear, but I feel like the build that I showcased in set 6 is probably a lot better, relying on tokens and grade 1s and stuff. We actually got ourselves the grade 3 that I was talking about, so it's actually for Dark States here. We got the Sky Severing Demonic Blade Altar Slaughter. So this says act on Vanguard Circle once per turn. Soul Blast 6 grade 0s, Soul Charge 6, choose 6 of your units, and it gets 10k to the end of the turn. Very underwhelming considering all the setup that's required to do this. The Soul Charge 6 basically means that you'll end up decking out, but I guess you can use stuff that like needs a somewhat high count of soul to get abilities, so maybe it'll still be active, but just getting 10k to all your units Kind of sucks. Plus, you also have to have them all on board. It's not like continuous. So, like if you found a way to multi-attack or something like that, but hey, what can you do? Speaking of cards that need, lots of cards in Soul in order to activate their ability. Maybe I don't have enough cards in my Soul for it to even show itself. There we go. Got the Hypno Grasper here. So during your turn, if you have 6 or more cards, this unit gets boost, and if you have 12 or more, it gets 10k. So not bad. We got ourselves, oh man, got ourselves, I mean, it looks okay. It's just like, I think I only got 1 FR from opening these boxes. I was hoping to get an FFR. I was hoping I'd get another one here, but I think there's only 2 FRs per box. So that kind of sucks. But we got ourselves Sorrow Severing Twin Blade. Play this with Counterblast 2. Choose one of your Vanguards with the original address and it gets, crit. We got ourselves a triple rare finally. Unrivaled Heavenly Blade Discorda. When this unit attacks, if you have 6 or more grade 3 or greater units, Counterblast 1. And until the end of the battle, this unit's attack will hit regardless of attack if the sum of grades of your opponent's guardians is not 3 or greater. So this card is pretty interesting. Its real main application is if your opponent checks a bunch of triggers, like the over trigger, your opponent has to guard the attack or it will hit regardless. But if you use a PG, the PG says that the unit cannot get hit. So it, I'm pretty sure, overrides this thing's ability, so it's not as crazy as you may think. So far, this is going to be the worst box I've ever opened on this channel, but we got Nobilis Flit here during your turn. For your opponent's grade 3 or greater, this gets 5k. So this is the 3k version of that card. We got Below Assault here. We got Stop Sails. Then we got ourselves Blaze Hook Monk Nisha. When this unit is placed on rearguard circle, if you have a rearguard with 2 or more original address, Soul Blast 1, choose one of your opponent's rearguards and retire it. Oh man. We got ourselves the Depletion Sabia, or just really bad Keenly Ludley. At the end of the battle, that your Vanguard with Barrel Magus in its card name attacked, you Counterblast 2, retire this unit, choose 10 cards from your Soul, return all other cards from your Soul into your deck and shuffle it. The only upside of this card is that you get to put back triggers, but you can only use this in Barrel Magus. It's Counterblast 2. You have to retire it. It's at the end of the battle, so after Barrel Magus already drive checked, then you have to keep 10 cards in your Soul, and then you can finally return, without choosing, everything else into your deck. Very silly card. And it's also 7k, if you didn't notice. Ridiculous. Strike Cannon of Dust Andrea. If you have a Vanguard with Eugene in its card name, retire this unit, choose one of your opponent's rearguards, and retire it. Not a bad card. And then we're going to get ourselves Bard of Heavenly Song Alpec here, which is the front trigger for Keter Sanctuary. Divine Sister Palmier here. This unit is placed on rearguard circle from your hand. If your Vanguard is a grade 3 or greater, Counterblast 1, look at the top 3 cards from your deck, put them on top of your deck in any order. It is unfortunately 6k. Not sure if that's going to see any play. Then we got ourselves the Lava Mane Wyvern. At the end of the battle, this unit boosted a Vanguard with Nirvana as card name. Put this into the Soul. Choose one of your opponent's. Choose one of your rearguards with original address, and it gets 10k to the end of the turn. It's unfortunately a Flame Dragon, not a Prayer Dragon. Got ourselves some more Barrow support here. I'm not sure how I feel about this card. She's very pretty. And she has a pretty interesting effect, but I don't think she's actually very playable right now. But this is Attract in Reverse. When this unit is placed on rearguard circle from Soul, if you have a Vanguard of Barrel Magus in its card name, discard a card from your hand, choose a grade 3 or less, grade 2 or less card from your Soul, call it to rearguard circle in the same column as this unit. So you can call out something from your Soul. She only costs discard, she doesn't cost counterblast. She has a grade 3, so she'll swing in with 23 plus a booster. So she's not, the worst. There's just really nothing great that you want to call from your Soul. The only applications for this I see is maybe a Gear Eagle to try and swing in again, or like a Ghoulmon to use it for next turn. That's about it. Oh, cool. We're actually going to get ourselves a He's Haze Acrobat Miroslava here. When this unit is placed on rearguard circle from your hand during your main phase, you can counterblast 1. Choose a card with grade equal or less than your Vanguard from your soul. Put it into your hand if you chose a card with the same name as your Vanguard. And then you call it to rearguard circle if you did not. So basically you choose a card. If it's the same as your Vanguard, add it to hand. If it's not, call it to rearguard circle. Then if you put a card into your hand, this unit gets 5k to the end of the turn. So pretty nifty card. Again, something that is slightly playable in Burrow Magus, because you can play this counterblast 1, pull something out from your soul, like a Curtis, and then soul charge 2, possibly 3, if you have Mandine active, but the counterblast and her being grade 3 might not actually make her usable. I've never had a fucking opening be this bad. I only got 3 triple. Oh, I got this guy. Okay, it's just that they're all shitty. That's why. That's why I forgot about that. Oh man. Got ourselves here the last pack here. Not gonna lie, it's been a pretty disappointing box so far. If I'm being honest with you, we didn't get anything too crazy. And what we got was nothing insane either. We got ourselves Pierce Equip Dragon Balsabel. When this card becomes original address, counterblast 1, choose a grade 1 or less prayer dragon from your drop and call it to rearguard circle. So, you technically lose a card, but you can bring it back, which is not half bad. And then the last card is going to be Eugene support. Assault Bullet Dust Storm Oswald. At the end of the battle, this unit boosted a Vanguard with Eugene's card name. If your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, and they do not have any rearguards, counterblast 1, discard a card from your hand, choose one of your Vanguards, choose one of your opponent's Vanguards and send it. Choose one of your Vanguards, stand it, and increase or decrease its crits and drive to 1 to the end of the turn. Pretty interesting. Let's hear Eugene multi-attack. But yeah, I gotta say, this is pretty disappointing. The FRs weren't that great, and then the triple rares that we did get, not the best ones from the sets. So at the very least, the triggers are decent, but really it was just this guy that's kind of useful, and then the other one, I think I mixed it up in the commons and rares. So yeah, that'll do it for set 7. Despite my disappointment, it's a pretty good set, I think. It has some pretty fun cards, none of which I managed to pull here. Take care of yourself, play Vanguard, and have yourself a damn good one.